Hi, I'm Deb Dedrick. Welcome to today's tip for the day, where today we're going to talk about controlling self-talk and recognizing triggers and changing behavior. I don't know about you, but have you ever been in the middle of an argument and you find yourself reacting the same way over and over again, even though it never serves you? That's right. We all get programmed into behaviors, and don't they say insanity is repeating the same behavior over and over and over again, even though you don't get the outcome that you want. So this is to teach you that in the heat of a triggered moment, you are going to make sure that you know you're recognizing the trigger and you're choosing to make choices that support you. And let me start with this. Do you struggle with self-talk that's negative? Do you struggle with behaviors that keep you stuck? Do you struggle with repeating the same behavior over and over again because you get triggered and you just blurt out whatever jumps into your mind? That's not going to work. And usually when that happens, and I know this isn't for me, I get my feelings hurt, I get angry, I used to storm out of the situation, and that got me nothing. So that was a trigger. So I would get triggered and I would just storm out of the room, whatever. But what's it for you? So let me give you a framework that you can use that will help you recognize triggers and recondition yourself so you behave in a better way. Number one, the situation is going to present itself, so it usually starts with a trigger in a certain situation, in a certain conversation, with a certain person maybe. Number two, recognize and pay attention to the trigger and what action that you typically take. Number three, acknowledge what you're saying to yourself. Listen to what you're saying to yourself. Really think about it. Number four, ask yourself, okay, I'm hearing myself say this, is this true? And just because you think it or your mind says it, it doesn't mean that it's true. A lot of time that negative self-talk is just that. It's negative and it's not self-supporting. And your job is to replace the negative self-talk with positive self-talk. You are going to pay attention to the trigger and your response, and then you're going to think it through, and you're going to say, instead of the negative, you're going to say, fill in the blank, whatever's positive. So in my last statement, I said, just because you say it isn't true, if you say it enough, it's going to be true. So whatever you typically say about yourself, if it's over and over and over again, it becomes reality. So you have to be very careful what comes out of your mouth. And as you replace, this is number 5, as you replace the response in the trigger to a positive response, a self-serving response. So this requires you to really think through and plan ahead. You're going to rehearse it and role play it. So if you want a better outcome, you have to recognize the trigger, pay attention to your response, think through the outcome, and then begin to tweak it. Begin to figure out what's working, what's not working, change it, work on it, role play it, script it, rehearse it with other people. So it becomes a response. It becomes a natural for you. Remember, you're going to have to practice this. If you're changing behaviors, it's not going to happen overnight, and you have to implement it. And the only way you implement something is if you practice it. Number 6, always choose to become your best friend, your best advocate. I always say, me, myself, and I are a posse of 3. We go everywhere together, so I support myself. And finally, number 7, make choices that ensure anything that you think, anything that you say, anything that you do supports you. Don't throw yourself under the bus. Okay, be careful. Would love to hear what you do about these situations. If these tips help you, go over and check out my YouTube channel, check out my website, and until my next tip, go out in the world and be a positive role model and influencer for good. Thank you so much for joining me. Peace, love, God bless. See you soon.